From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate. The owners of an ostrich farm that has grabbed headlines recently are mourning the death of one of its birds while it was under the care of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
The agency says the bird at Universal Ostrich Farm had a previous injury and a pre-existing condition that impacted its left leg and mobility and was being treated by the owners for some time. Farm spokeswoman Katie Pasitny confirmed the news of the death before she accused the CFIA of animal cruelty, saying they had been dumping the electrolytes out. The CFIA did not respond to requests to address the claim. However, they said in a release that it had been administering medication and electrolyte fluids through instructions by the owners. Now, this comes after a call was ordered following an outbreak of avian flu at the farm, something that the owners have been challenging, saying the birds that survived are healthy. David Augustine, The Canadian Press.
Alberta's Premier is echoing the words expressed by Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe that BC's ports are not the property of BC and belong to Canada. Danielle Smith made the comments during her province-wide radio show yesterday. She also called out BC Premier David Eby for his lack of support for her proposal for a pipeline to British Columbia's northwest coast. Smith said last week her province is committing $14 million to early regulatory work on the pipeline proposal, but Eby says his government will continue to support a federal moratorium on oil tankers along the province's north coast. Food delivery apps are broadening their horizons and are promising to bring more than just food to your doorstep. Food industry analyst Vince Scabaloni says that's because food delivery apps have hit maturity in the restaurant space.
Delivery is still there. It's still an important part of the food service industry, but it's not growing by leaps and bounds anymore. It's just growing like any other segment of the food service market.
Scabaloni says retail has opened up a new revenue stream for the delivery apps, which can help them find new customers. Now, across the pond, where British police are set to be given stronger powers to restrict repeated protests. The government making the move after almost 500 people were arrested at a recent demonstration in support of a banned pro-Palestinian group. The Home Office says police will now be able to weigh the impact of frequent protests when setting rules for demonstrations. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood admits the right to protest is a fundamental freedom, but says it has to be balanced with the freedom of others to live without fear. And finally, Saturday Night Live kicked off its 51st season with global superstar Bad Bunny hosting and performing. The new season also adds 5 new featured players, including a Canadian. The new additions come following last year's 50th anniversary celebration and the departures of several cast members. Upcoming hosts include Amy Poehler next weekend and Sabrina Carpenter on October 18th, who will be both the host and the musical guest. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, it was a big postseason start for the Toronto Blue Jays. Alejandro Kirk belted 2 solo homers, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit a solo shot as well, as Toronto thumped the New York Yankees 10-1 in Game 1 of their American League Division Series. Kevin Gausman, getting the win for the Jays, said the atmosphere was electric.
Before the game, getting ready, coming out to the mound, it was pretty cool.
Blue Jays rookie Trey Savage gets the start as Toronto hosts Game 2 later today. Elsewhere, the surging BC Lions punched their ticket to the CFL postseason with a 38-24 win over the visiting Calgary Stampeders. Meantime, Hamilton thumped Toronto 47-29. And in MLS action, Toronto FC earned a 2-2 draw with the Chicago Fire, while CF Montreal drew even 1-1 with Nashville. Finally, in preseason NHL action, the Sens topped the Habs 3-1, while Detroit edged Toronto 6-5 in overtime. From the Canadian Press, I'm Rob Westgate.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.